Hello and welcome back, YouTube. It is Wednesday, November 15th, 2023, 1:28 p.m. Looks like we got a couple vagabonds walking down 46th Street. Heading out to work a little earlier than normal because... Sorry, I was noticing dark and thick on the left side. She was kind of cute. So, I'm heading out earlier than normal because Priscilla said that she has some leftovers for me from Cracker Barrel, or possibly something she ordered for me from Cracker Barrel to take with me for lunch. So, I'm on that. As much as I enjoyed my lunch yesterday, I can't afford to be spending that every day. In fact, to be honest, I really couldn't afford to have been spending that yesterday. But, well, for starters, Steve told me it was like $6 for a 5-piece, which got me pretty excited. Like 5 pieces of chicken for $6? Yeah, show me where that happens. Well, they do have a 5-piece, and it was something like 16 or 17 bucks. Definitely more than I was down to spend for lunch. But the half chicken with all the stuff with it for just shy of $11. That seemed like a good deal, so ended up getting that instead. Anyway, it was a good time with Steve. I feel a little guilty because I kind of felt that counted as our half-hour break. And then later said, hey man, there's a Jay-Z interview on CBS. You like Jay-Z? And I'm like, hell yeah, I like Jay-Z. So not so big on watching interviews. I've seen a lot of interviews with Jay-Z. Well, at this point, he pulls over and he's heading into the break room. So I just follow him. I'm pretty much working with him as a team. And yeah, we sat down and spent longer than we should have in the break room and watched all of 60 Minutes with Jay-Z. Well, not all of it, but a good portion of it. We watched it until it was over. And to be fair, that was hands down the best Jay-Z interview I've ever seen. I did thoroughly enjoy the interview, and probably one of the most interesting episodes of 60 Minutes that I've ever watched. They toured Jay-Z's museum that he has in Brooklyn. And can you imagine being such a prolific artist that you actually have your own museum? That just seems wild to me. Anyway, it was a good time. I felt kind of guilty taking that much time off the clock, but I mean, what was I gonna do? Like, go working on foot when I'm partnered up with Steve? You know, that's not really a functional thing. And as I said before, nobody fucks with Steve. Like, as long as I'm taking an extended break and I'm sitting next to Steve and I'm working as a team with Steve, by proxy, nobody fucks with me. So I figure that's my kickback for how damn hard I work Sunday and Monday. So I'm going to need to get me a drink. Priscilla said that there was a drink. Oh my goodness, we got a homeless encampment going on 40th Street. Not the main thoroughfare 40th Street, but the old 40th Street that goes alongside the apartments. And it's adjacent to the private property fencing that was added when the city of Phoenix sold that little park there to the south here to the private developer. It's not a huge encampment. It's not like the Zone or anything, but it's a sizable little encampment. I didn't see exactly how many people are there. I want to say like maybe 4 or 5. I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of that sort of thing spread out around the city now that the Zone has been cleared out. So Priscilla said there's just one soda in here, I'm assuming a can, that's not refrigerated. I was down to 1 can of soda in my fridge. It's a Coke. So all out of Mountain Dew, all out of tea. The only non-alcoholic beverages I have in my fridge right now are 2 varieties of non-alcoholic beer, which, yeah, that's a hard pass. I'm hanging on to that for somebody who actually likes that sort of thing, but yeah, it's not something I've ever drinking. I've got bottled water. I'm drinking bottled water before non-alcoholic beer. Non-alcoholic beer just seems extremely pointless to me. But I know there are some people that do enjoy it. I'm trying to remember what brands it is. I think I've got a few bottles of Beck's. I forget what the other one is. Probably Miller, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's Coors. Anyway, I really need to get to the store and buy some beverages. I've also got a few different cans and varieties of like sparkling water, which I also don't like. I've tried to like that stuff, but every single one that I try has been a disappointment and something I didn't enjoy. And while there might be some that I do enjoy, I'm just tired of popping cans and taking a few swallows and just dumping it out because I find it disgusting. So, yeah, I'm saving those again because some people like those sort of beverages. Anyway, on that note, I'm going inside to get some beverages to have at work since I can purchase them here with my EBT, and I can't do that while I'm at work. There's a Killing Machine style pickup truck pulling in to my left, and it looks like the hood of the pickup truck is as high as the top of my car. That's unnerving, you know, and it kind of creates a safety issue for vehicles that aren't ridiculously tall in having total blind spots as you're backing out of parking spots. It's really time for federal regulators to reel that crazy shit in. So 1:43 right now. Had quite a moment right after I got done recording as I was getting out of the car to head in the store. I just about doored a woman who was walking like right next to my car. And granted, I maybe should have looked out before opening my door. I can share some fault with that. But she was really attractive. Although she kind of had that air of either homeless or quasi-homeless or really likes drugs about her. I could be wrong about that. Still look damn good to me though. And why am I looking and checking out all these women while I supposedly have a girlfriend again? Two reasons. One, I'm just kind of wired that way. I've just come to the conclusion that that's how it is. I don't think anything's ever going to change that. I mean, I'll go out with Priscilla after we've been at her place having absolutely amazing adult fun, and I'll see a woman I don't find attractive and I'm checking that out and my mind is wandering. That's just how my mind is wired. Now, there are girlfriends that I had in the past when I was much younger that I was so completely content with that I didn't check out other women, but that ship sailed before I even got married. I remember I was that way with Tracy. Tracy was literally my fantasy girl, the woman of my dreams. And I've mentioned Tracy here and there in my vlogs since pretty much right when I started it. And I don't have time for the whole story of Tracy. There will never be time for the whole story of Tracy, and it's tragic. And I've pretty much given up on ever finding her again. Shit, it's been so many years that the chances of her already being dead are statistically there. When I met her, I think she was underage when I met her, like probably 17, maybe 18-ish. And I was 19 or 20, just a couple of years older then. She was a member of the Rocky Horror cast in Denver at the Ogden Theater. Now, I did eventually go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show to see her, and that was awesome. But that's not where I first saw her or met her. Where I first met her I'm debating still whether I want to stay on the freeway or not. Yes, I'm going to. I'm actually amazed the oversized pickup truck behind me didn't eat up all the space so I can still get in. Unusual to see somebody in those giant vehicles actually driving courteously enough that they're not edging other vehicles, especially smaller vehicles, out. So, I just launched a phone. I'm regretting my decision to stay on the freeway already. In fact, I'm regretting my decision to not look at the traffic view on one of my phones before starting this vlog and leaving the Circle K. Although showing up a little bit late today is probably a good thing. I haven't really been able to bring myself up to asking about being approved for overtime. And at this point, I'm still just under an hour beyond where I should be with my hours right now. And last night, if I wasn't working with Steve, I would have probably left early to balance that out and have a little more me time. Because it was slow last night. I mean, the amount of time that was spent just wandering aimlessly with Steve was excessive. And as I said earlier, I mean, we sat and probably watched 45 minutes of 60 Minutes with Jay-Z on it. There was really nothing else to do. I mean, there was work we could have done, I suppose. I'm still bewildered at one point in time that Mayar and Anthony actually hunted us down. Like, you could tell they hunted us down because they approached us in an area where only Steve and I would be and kind of chased in there with a different car just to tell us that they wanted us to help out with putting electric cars on the chargers. Actually, they said they wanted, well, Mayar said, wanted me to help bring electric cars to the chargers. He goes, well, just bring them there. You know, if you don't know how to plug them in, just bring them there. And that really surprised me because I couldn't believe that he didn't know that I was cross-trained. Like, how could he have not noticed by now that I'm cross-trained on electrics and that I do electrics on the regular? I think I've been given that manager way more credit than he deserves. And of course Anthony knows I'm cross-trained on electrics, but this didn't come from Anthony. This came from Maya. I haven't gone down this stretch of 24th Street in a bit. See a Waymo off to the left. From here, I can't tell if it's got a driver or not. You know, it's funny when I watch videos about driving and negotiating certain types of intersections, and people talk about, you know, making eye contact with other drivers and waving people through. I don't see any other drivers in any of the vehicles opposite me. All I see is windshields and glare. I'm willing to bet one of those four vehicles does not have a driver. I can't see. Nope, it most certainly didn't. But I couldn't see that until I got to the side of it. Now, I do think that those have tinted windshields, and I think they get away with it because they're generally driverless. Tinted windshields are illegal in Arizona, although a surprising amount of people do it. Like that late 90s Camry I passed on the left. It says same general body style as my Lexus. Which I still haven't made the time to go talk to Rob about my Lexus or any of my other vehicles or my debt to him, and I really need to make the time for that. Although my biggest priority for this week, and I need to focus on it Friday above anything, especially since the following week is going to be a holiday, is getting over to my mental health clinic. I checked the date on the court order for when I go back to the mental health court of the city of Phoenix, and I definitely need to have some progress made. Even if I haven't attended a group for anger management, I need to have at least signed up for one. But I do definitely want to bring up when I get in there. It's bumming me out that the woman that I met when I was at the courthouse and my case got transferred to the mental health court, it really bums me out that the woman that I met at that date, who was all about trying to keep the mental health care providers in check, making sure they're providing the services they're supposed to be providing to those in need. I'm really bummed I haven't seen her since, or heard from her since, because I feel like my clinic has completely ignored me on this. And I could go at length of all the issues I've had with the clinic since I agreed to get into a mental health clinic-based anger management group with the mental health court. The day that the benefits specialist called me to make an appointment with me for the following day, and then I went in the following day and sat there for an hour and a half while they said, oh yeah, she'll be right out to see you, when she didn't even show up. It was just beyond ridiculous. And a lot of people say that they have that bad of service because they're trying to discourage people from using the services. They deliberately keep it bad to discourage people from even trying to utilize the services. I don't want to believe that's true, but it's seeming more and more likely. The level of ineptness and just like how that happened really, really makes me wonder. And just the lack of concern for the severely mentally ill that need these services, and just the complete disregard for their time and schedules. Anyway, I really wish I was in contact with that other woman, because I mean, there's so many things, and it's hard for me to do it off the top of my head, but I do know I was frustrated that my case manager said she would be there in court with me, and she wasn't. But she had an ex parte communication with the judge prior to the court date, which I was not advised about until after it had happened. Yeah, just so many things have gone wrong with that. Now, it's possible that she's maybe tried to call me. I'm very difficult to reach by phone, and when those phone numbers show up on my phone, they just generally show up as random phone numbers, which is the same as when that Travel Now cruise fraud people keep trying to call me. Same thing. So yeah, I'm not calling back every random number that shows up. And the thing is, when they do call me, when I call back the number, it usually doesn't go to the person that calls me. It just goes to some exchange board, and the person that answers it has no idea who called me or why. So yeah, the communication system is just absolutely broken between me and the mental health clinic. And I don't know why it's not possible for my case manager to text me. That's the way most people communicate in 2023. Or just simply fucking email. I know they have email, but I don't know why she can't be bothered to sit down and send me an email. I keep up on my email pretty damn good. I rarely go more than a day without checking my inbox. And if I had something from her in my inbox with information about a program and, you know, the when and the where, I could respond to her definitely by the next business day and say, oh yeah, that works, or no, that's not doable. Anyway, sorry my lack of focus on the drive today. There's so many thoughts racing through my head, and yeah, trying to get them all out. It's awkward. I wonder what this white car is doing. They seem lost big time. Probably somebody applying for a job, trying to figure out where they need to go. And admittedly, when I first came in here looking for work, I was so lost and confused. I wish I could remember who it was that interviewed me for the position at the Dollar Car Wash. I really would like to get into some kind of a higher position with Hertz, but I don't want to go into a shitty entry-level position here. As shitty entry-level positions go, I love the one that I have, and I'm already a little bit beyond entry-level. Granted, it's just a little bit, but you know, it's something that matters to me. I made it to work on time. 1:54 on the Saturn clock. I'm not sure exactly what that translates into real time, but if I'm a few minutes late, I'm well within the range of on time for this place. And yeah, it's all me today. No Steve on Wednesdays. I had to think about it. What day of the week is today? It's Wednesday. Yeah, I do need to, even though my priority is getting to my clinic and figuring out what the hell's going on with that, so I'm not in trouble when I have my next court date. I do need to make time for Rob. I'm amazed he hasn't been blowing up my phone, and I do think I have some money available for him. I've been getting offers for more work from Winolo, but apparently it's Thursday. I wish they'd spit out some stuff for Friday or Saturday, so I know I have a little more income coming in this weekend. And I need to find out for sure when this house party is that I'm doing karaoke for. I don't think I'm getting paid for this one, but I'm going to probably pass the hat around and see if I can get some donations anyway. I'm sure if I asked for money, they would have told me not to bother. But I think if I actually provide the karaoke services for this house party, that people will be down to at least throw me a little bit. If nothing else, I'm hoping it'll open some doors to finding me some karaoke gigs. I'm really ready to start doing some more karaoke. On that note, this morning, since I woke up a little earlier than normal, I did add another song to my karaoke library. I added She's a Star by James. And then just did some general housekeeping on my files. So I got clocked in at 2:05. That's a good thing. It's dang, I just looked at the time and I already forgot. 2:25 now. And I am having a moment. Although there's somebody coming here that can maybe answer my questions. These rows here, that's usually the maintenance line. I got 2 vehicles here that are noted as maintenance, but hang on. What's going on with the cars getting lined up over here?
These are clean.
These are all clean, okay, because usually this is maintenance on this side.
Yeah, but not usually, but sometimes we put them over there, but sometimes, like I say, it's supposed to be, the maintenance cars are supposed to be upstairs, but sometimes there ain't no room. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, when they get busy, this gonna be probably.
So they're expecting it to be so many returns that they're just gonna be piled up here too.
Not today, but they just didn't want this upstairs.
Got it.
Like, small SUVs and
Okay. They told me to leave the blue hats down here, but that anything without a blue hat mark. I'm the main maintenance driver for night shift, so I'm like walking down here. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh no, I know what to check. I was just curious what like those look like cleans. Why they in the maintenance line? It's all good. Well, that was kind of awkward. You did tell me these are all cleans over here, and then when it gets extra busy, they sometimes stockpile the cleans over there. So. And then he proceeded to tell me what I needed to do. It's like, dude, I know what I need to do. My question is, what the hell's up with all these cars over here and what's normally the maintenance line? Hey, here's something interesting. Still carrying my drink. It's a little awkward. Looking down on, I had to think about it. I believe it's the Avis level down from right here. I found some forgotten wheelchairs. 2 of them stashed right there, and another one stashed under here. There it is. Never seen those there before. Well, no vehicles for me to move downstairs, so I'm going up to the dollar maintenance line. I did see one car up there waiting for me. And I'll explain how I started my day down here on the dollar lot once I start moving that.